When you've been injured in an accident or on the job due to the negligence of others, know this: your community has your back. Communities look out for each other, and I protect my community. Whether I'm fighting for a personal injury case, medical negligence, or winning the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history, you will receive personalized and aggressive representation with a goal to maximize your win. Scan now to schedule your free consultation. Osborne and Francis, real tough lawyers.
Hello, welcome to Football Chop Up. You're here with me, Coach AG. I'm honored to be with a good friend of mine, D Brown. I'll let him introduce himself, but this brother is a really good friend of mine. We've known each other for some time. And D, if you could just, I'm going to let you do the intros of yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Cool, man. Appreciate it, AG. Like you said, Coach D Brown. A little bit about my background. Born and raised in the great state of Florida, in that football country. Went to Syracuse, had an awesome career there. Was blessed to be able to have a 6-year career in the National Football League, man. And now I'm coaching college football for the last 6 years, all levels: Division I, FBS, FCS, Division II. And now I am the pass game coordinator, quarterback coach at Morehouse College. And so it's living the dream, AG, living the dream.
Yeah, this is one of my good dear friends, and I'm very proud of him. I've seen him, go from high school to, to and everything else, and I'm very proud of what he's done. So we here today, man. On the 17th, we're gonna be down in Orlando, which you're very familiar with. That's how we met. Tell the people a little bit about what you're looking for, at these camps and in general. What is D Brown looking for? Tell them where you're coaching at now and what you're looking for players at your university.
Yeah, man, the Tigers, and no matter where I'm where I'm coaching at, man, it's the same eye and mentalities when you talk about evaluating potential student athletes, and obviously we want to see guys who look like they've been in the weight room. This is a physical sport. It's a sport that injuries do happen, and you have to prepare your body for this type of impact and things that you're going to experience as a football player. So we want guys who, you don't have to be a gym warrior, but we at least want your body to look like you have been introduced to the weight room. We know from that standpoint, you have structure, schedule, the benefits of of that type of training for yourself. And then we're looking at athletic ability. There's guys who can run fast, and there's guys who can, side to side shuffle and lift and jump high. But there's more to, obviously this great game than those major attributes. But we're looking at, is he a knee bender? Does he bend at the ankles? Does he bend at the waist? Does he have good technique? Does it look like he's come from a great sound foundation of coaching or teaching or training at his high school? All right. And how is he paying attention to the instruction given to him? Is he, apply? Is he quickly processing the information and able to apply it? Because those are the best kids, the ones who can think fast, process instruction, and then go out and execute it in a small amount of time. And so when you start looking at physical, then you start looking at from a skill set standpoint, AG, I think those are the things that we're really prioritizing.
Now, we've been around for a minute, and I know we have, and so I want to go on to the next topic because that was some great, that's good topics because, most people don't ever talk about how the kids need to look in the weight room. Most people don't, and I try to tell kids all the time, that weight room has to become your friend. But you see the little line down there screaming, man, tell me this. How's recruiting changed? Because you said something earlier, and I want people to understand you've been Division I all the way down to D2 to high school. So can you explain to people how recruiting has really changed now?
Well, it's availability, AG. When we were coming, and not even when we were coming, not too long ago, recruiting was about being able to, be seen. Recruiting was about development, and being able to put a plan in place, a 2-3 year plan, being able to project what kids are going to be able to do and accomplish, and then that's how you kind of formulated, your potential success as a program. Well, I tell you now, recruiting has really changed. Now it's not necessarily about the development piece. It's truly about just production, and because of that, you have a great group of athletes, especially our high school athletes, who are kind of getting the short end of the stick. And so the mindset has to change as far as recruiting. When I was coming out, my goal was I want to go, to a school that's on TV, a big school, big school, big school. I did have an afterthought of going to a Florida A&M, because it was going to allow, my siblings go with me. But at the same time, that was always the goal. That was the culture around us, was let's go to a big school. Well, now,
Mhm.
man, that's kind of hard to do. It's not about big school, because that was about exposure back then, where now you can get exposure. And what's happening with recruiting, because the NIL, because of the COVID seasons and giving these kids, X amount of extra years, is really knocking down the availability. It's not like there's not a cap on how many kids you can have in college. There's still a cap. And
Right.
so now you got, where it was mostly 18 to 22 year olds. Now you got 23, 24, some kids 25 years old playing college. And so you got to start looking at, from a high school standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, the opportunity, the platform, not necessarily the emblem on the helmet. Okay, you just got to get an opportunity, because film is going to be way more productive and way more influential than your profile that just says I set the bench at a FBS school, or I got minimal reps, when you could have had a chance to go to a FCS or Division 2 or lower, whatever the case may be. Really get your numbers, really get some game film, show people your true skill set. And now, when you transition, there's a lot of legitimacy to that decision to do that.
Now we're going to train. That's a good transition to the next question, which is player poaching. Right now, I try to tell people, you know, colleges are going down to D2s, taking the guys who ball out of control and paying them a boatload of money. Not just D2s, FCS, group of fives, whatever the case may be. And I don't want to speak for you, but I've said to guys like kids before, one thing I admire about HBCUs, they don't mind. They hope that you come in there, ball out of control, and go get some money somewhere else. I mean, tell the people what your thoughts are on that.
Well, it's just you got to understand the platform. It was I learned that from Coach K. He was, if you remember him, AG, back in the day when One and Done had just come out. He was
Mhm.
really against it. That wasn't his thing. It wasn't his culture. I remember two of his guys that did it. That just he scoffed at him even in public. But I appreciated his growth as a coach, because he started understanding the culture has changed, and that's what it is now, coach. The culture just has changed, and you got to change with it. And now, we understand that there's a lot of money out there. There's an opportunity for kids to put their families and break generational curses, and be able to break chains of poverty and things of that nature, just off of their athletic ability at
Right.
18, 19 years old. We understand that. You got to understand that. You can't lock kids down and try to throw the loyalty or guilt trip on them. When you see coaches every year, they going for the bag. They've been at a school for
Right.
2 years. They win and they're gone. So we just don't put a lot of scrutiny on that when it's coaches, but we should if we're going to do it with the kids. We understand, man, this thing is really, to be honest with you, AG, it's a 6-month contract. Every single year, every single 6 months, you got to be looking at what kids may be leaving, what coaches may be leaving. And you got to look at it like that, because that's what's happening.
And that's real. So hey, I'll put it down. The final question, man, and we're gonna let you go after this, man. Why Morehouse? Why should a kid choose Morehouse over anybody else? Why should they choose them?
But I tell you, man, if he want to be a quarterback, because he can't get taught no better than what he gonna get taught by me. That's the
That's all.
truth. As a Maroon Tiger, man, I tell you, the prestige of the university. What I learned, man, and even though I had a great time at Syracuse, I really did. I still to this day, AG, think about what if I had went to Florida A&M. Just because of the culture and being able to see how you grow as an African American person, man, in your culture, surrounded by those who or ascending just like you are trying to. The atmosphere, the alumni, the network, man, it's something that I think everyone should want to experience, because it does give you great advantage after the game is over. I know the stereotypes, but the reason you hear about those stereotypes because they're just the loudest. There's a lot of quality experiences that you can get at a HBCU, and so I think Morehouse was presented that for me. Football is a ministry for me, and so that became my pulpit, my platform, and so I'm excited about what we're able to do there, man. The HBCU is a great experience, and those who are on the fence, I'll tell them to jump off the fence and jump in that yard, man, because it really is a great experience. And the more quality people, quality teams, quality coaches and players that you get in these universities and institutions, you'll start to see the overall quality of HBCU experience be better.
And I'll say this, man, before we go. I enjoyed my experience at my HBCU. I went to Prairie View first, and then I went to Texas State playing basketball. My daughter just graduated from FAMU University on Saturday. It was a great experience. The way that, and she's 39 and 4 days pregnant, and the way they embraced her, man, was tremendous. So I definitely agree with that, man. I think that, and also I always say that if given opportunities, if a lot of more kids go to the HBCUs, the quality of the football is going to be better. And then, maybe at some point, hey, they come along and now there's an HBCU channel that, HBCU network that plays, takes care of that. So, man, I just want to thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we go? I'll let you have the last word.
No, man, I just, I'm excited for what, we as men continue to try to do, important to these young boys, man. I appreciate, the effort that you give out. You have your own kids that you could be selfish about, but you're not, man. You're still reaching out to other people's kids and raising them in the right way and just giving them an opportunity to see something other than their, four yards or four corners of their neighborhood. I appreciate that, AG. I'm doing the same over here. Like I said, man, football is not about X's and O's for me. It's a ministry, man. The more I can pour into these young men. So, and a lot of times you can't do that if you're at these PWIs. You know what I'm saying? It's, you got to look at the quality, not the quantity sometimes. Okay. And that's why HBCU, I think, is one of the best choices for our kids because it gives you that opportunity.
And on that note, man, we'll go. But I want people to know one thing I enjoy about the HBCU camps is they're coming out giving offers. They're not sitting around waiting. They trying to see, who you are, and they gonna like who like them. So make sure you guys come out and perform because, the guys that are coming, they all know what they're doing. I always tell people all the time, some of the best coaches I know are in HBCU because of what you said. It's almost a ministry, and it's definitely, those guys have relationships with their players a lot longer than guys that, that are at some of these Power Fives where it's all business.
Yeah. It's good ball too, man. It's great coaches. And so, guys, whoever's listening, definitely be at these camps. Come ready to showcase your abilities, man. Come shaking hands, looking guys in the eye, showing how to introduce yourself and, things about you, having a nice conversation. Don't just talk and give 1 or 2 word answers like you can have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Those are all impressionable things that we'll be looking at too. So, come and have a good time, man, and come and secure a future.
Hey, on that note, we out of here. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, big dog.
All right, bro.
Yeah, man, that